Good morning, everyone. My name is Ralph Schultz. I'm CEO of the Nashville Area Chamber of Commerce, and it's always such a pleasure to lead off an event like this because it's a great opportunity for me to reflect on the fact that this announcement, the presence of this team of people, really represents a vast group of people that are working on improving student achievement in our school system, from the teachers in the schools, through the principals, through the administration, through the entire city, and all of these partners you see gathered here. Today's a special day in the journey of high school reform that began in 2006 here in Nashville. Through the academies of Nashville, we are building a national model, and that's what we're here to celebrate today. The Nashville Chamber's role in the Academies of Nashville is to support the work of the 6 Academies of Nashville Partnership Councils, which are the industry-based committees composed of business leaders and educators that provide advice and oversight for the academies in their industry area. So it's our job as a chamber to support those partnership groups. But again, you see arrayed here a vast group of people that are supportive of creating those results in the schools. In addition to the CEO champions assembled here today is a chamber committee that advocates for academies and monitors their progress. So the purpose of the business people you see here is to advocate and to create interest and awareness and support for this effort. We're very much as a chamber about leadership and results, and it's great to note that there are 117 academies, 117 partners already, which we heard about here this morning, and it's also important and positive to reflect on the improved graduation rate from the schools at 83%. Those are results that are very meaningful to this community. Now, when we talk again about the support that we provide to the academies and the expansion of their impact, last week we sponsored a day-long training for school system personnel and business volunteers on how to get ready for a national site review for our academy accreditation. This reflects the maturing of the academy process here in Nashville and is an important step in that maturation process. 14 of Metro's high school academies will undergo an internal district review this spring in order to prepare for that national review, which will come next year. Now, earlier this morning, we reviewed the dashboard, we monitored student attendance, graduation rates, and the number of academy partnerships. I'm speaking here in place of Steve Turner, who's had a death in the family and wasn't able to be with us today, but we want to salute as a chamber the leadership of our CEO champions as they support the establishment of these academies. So now, with a very important announcement, one of the key partners, one of the centerpieces of the Academy Thrust here in Nashville, I'd like to introduce to you Cheryl Carrier with the Ford Motor Company Fund. Cheryl?
Thank you. Thank you. I just came out of the CEO's Champions meeting, and I am just completely blown away by what's happening here. And every time I come here, I get even more energized. As the program director for Next Generation Learning at Ford, I've had the opportunity to work with communities across the country, and I know some of you have heard this before. There is nobody that is doing the kind of work that you're doing right now. It's really remarkable. And there's one thing that's very, very clear, in that this is a community initiative. These are our students. They belong to us, and we all have to work together to provide them with the skills that they need to be successful in life. To achieve this goal, the communities across the country, and there's 15 currently, soon to be another 4 added in the next couple days, they're focusing on 3 strands: transforming teaching and learning, real-world, inquiry-based learning tied to their interest, redesigning high schools, and building sustainability through business and civic leadership. Over the course of the last 4 years, Nashville has really adopted this framework and essential practices to help scale the academies of Nashville. And your work is not going unnoticed, I have to tell you. Your accomplishments have been great, and the bold leadership has been nothing less than inspiring. to a lot of people around the country. So much so that last year, November, you had 12 community teams, I think it was 12 community teams come from around the country for 2 days to take a look at what you were doing. And these are communities that are pretty far along the process, and they were really blown away. You've also, as Jay mentioned, you've got a delegation in from China, and you are also talking to Louisville and Rockford about some of the work that you're doing. So your work is being noticed. And then I think last week, we had somebody from the U.S. Chamber come and spend 2 days here to learn about your work as well. So people are watching, and you know, it's going to be fun to see the continued success that you have. I have never seen a community, at least in the communities we're working with, that is so aligned as this community. And you have incredible leadership in Mayor Dean and Jesse Register and Nashville Area Chamber and Pencil Foundation and Alignment Nashville. And you're really an inspiration to civic leaders of other communities. So, I think to the principals and administrators today listening to you, this was so exciting. You're raising the bar and really setting the standard for providing real-world learning for the students of Nashville, and building a community of practice and demonstrating how your leadership supports team teaching, integration of academics, common planning time, and successful practices in developing these academies. Last fall, at the unveiling of the Academies of Nashville, Ford Motor Company Fund designated Nashville as a Ford Next Generation Learning Community at the leadership level. And today, I'm here to announce the launch of the Nashville Ford Next Generation Learning Hub. And this hub is a partnership between Ford Motor Fund, Ford Motor Company Fund, Alignment Nashville, and Metro Nashville Public Schools. And as such, becomes one of 7 hubs across the country and the only urban hub to provide professional development, peer-to-peer mentoring, and coaching to other communities who want to scale up their academies. And as a hub, you will not only be helping other communities do this important work and sharing your successful practices, but you'll be building your community capacity as well, and deepening, strengthening, and accelerating the work that you're doing. The hub does not consist of just 1 or 2 people. It is a community. So all of you will at some point have hopefully an opportunity to mentor other communities through peer-to-peer mentoring and coaching. And I can tell you that from what I'm hearing from around the country, what they see is a very bold business, education, civic leadership who's unwavering in their vision and commitment to continuous improvement. They see a community of administrators who are demonstrating what transformed teaching and learning looks like in the classroom. They see a model that's scalable and sustainable when a community works together. And they see a network of passionate, committed role models who can inspire, coach, and mentor them to do this important work. At Ford, and speaking for myself as well, we see advocates, we see friends. And we are incredibly grateful to be part of this initiative and have this opportunity to learn from you. I could get choked up. I've been known to do that. So thank you for all that you've done for this community, for us as a company to help spread the word, and for the network of communities that we're all working with. And now I would like to invite Sydney up. And we're going to unveil the new logo for the hub. So that is the new logo. Thank you. And we are also presenting a check today for $10,000. And this check is actually coming from the Ford the Ford dealers and Ford Credit. And this is Pam, who is also helping to mentor the Glencliff Academy. I want to congratulate you and thank you, and please come up here. And Mark? Okay. And with that, I will turn it over to Sydney, who has a couple remarks.
Thank you, Cheryl. First, I want to thank Ford and the Ford Motor Company Fund for being a partner with us for all these years and for recognizing the progress that we've made here and the expertise in Nashville by naming us a Next Generation Learning Hub. The hub operations will be coordinated through Alignment Nashville. Star Herman of MNPS will co-direct the hub with me. Star, would you raise your hand? If you are in the audience and you'd like to know more about what a hub does on a daily basis, Melissa Jaggers has a one-sheet that can give you that information. As a hub, our schools, our teachers, and our students will be provided with training and support on an ongoing basis so that we can continually be reaching for higher standards for our children and our city. Being a hub also means we'll be able to share the latest strategies for 21st century learning demonstrated right here in Nashville with our neighbors in Tennessee and in other states. Our Education First Mayor, Carl Dean, our outstanding Chamber of Commerce, and our excellent school district leadership is a winning combination for developing an education system for the future. At Alignment Nashville, we look forward to doing our part in making Nashville students next generation learners.
It's already been a great morning. We've had the opportunity over the last hour and a half for high school principals from our school system to meet with CEO leadership and Mayor Dean and to talk about the exciting things that are going on in our community with and in our school system with the development of our small learning communities and our academies and the partnership with these folks behind me and other people in the room. We feel like there's something very special happening here. We feel like we're state of the art. We're so thankful for Ford Motor Fund for identifying us as one of 7 hubs in the country. I think that's special. I think we have a lot to learn from that. If you haven't seen it, I think there are a couple of words that describe what's going on here today, and one of them is one of those words is networking and collaboration and learning and partnerships. And what the hub will give us the opportunity to do is to expand that network across the country. We look forward to learning from those other 6 hubs. And we also look forward to learning from all the people who will be coming to Nashville to experience what's going on in our school system. And I dare say that it'll put a little bit of pressure on our schools to keep moving ahead. We want to be at the front of the line. One of our great advantages in Nashville is to have an education mayor like Mayor Carl Dean. So please join me in calling Mayor Dean to the podium for words.
Thank you, Jesse, for that introduction. First of all, let me say, probably the most important thing I can say right now is that I drive a Ford Mustang. And I want to echo the comments of Dr. Register and others by first thanking the Ford Motor Company for this designation and for this grant award. It means a lot to our city. And I also want to acknowledge and say thank you to all the business leaders who are here, and particularly to all the principals and school leaders that are here. You know, our schools are making progress. There hasn't been enough attention to this fact, but this is something that means all the world to me, is that the graduation rate at every one of our high schools, every one of them, went up. And that is great news. And though we still have a lot of work to do, the continued maturation of our career academies is setting our students on a more solid path. And I want to thank Dr. Register and Jay Steele for their leadership and vision with the academies. I also want to acknowledge and say thank you to our Chamber of Commerce and to our business community. I say this often, but it needs to be said. Nothing speaks better of our city than the fact that our business community, that our Chamber of Commerce makes as their #1 priority public education. We are a community that understands the important role that everyone can play in supporting our schools and making sure that our students succeed. I remain as committed as ever to our public education system, and I know with certainty that our best days are ahead of us. Thank you all for being here this morning and to be here to celebrate this great announcement. At this time, I want to welcome back Mark Hill to the podium. Mark.
Thank you, Mayor Dean, Dr. Register, CEO Champions. At this time, I'd like to invite Fran Bedard from Deloitte and Paul Coakley from Altria to join me here at the podium for our second announcement this morning, and that's the first ever Academies of Nashville Awards. Today we're going to announce a list of nominees for these awards. We had a nominating committee composed of district staff, Pencil Foundation staff, and chamber staff. We solicited ideas and suggestions from teachers and principals across the system, and that nominating committee developed a slate of nominees to recognize the excellence and the success we're already seeing in our academies here in Nashville. As you know, back in 2006, really, we started this journey together, and it was 8 high school principals that decided to take us on this path. With a reform of this kind of scale, which frankly we're not seeing anywhere else in the country, you would assume, and you would be correct, that there are some schools who have moved further, and there are some schools that are just now implementing the model. And so that is reflected in the number of nominees for some of our schools. We expect this nomination decision to be much harder in the years ahead as we move into the next school year, where these partnerships deepen and the work across all 12 high schools deepens. And so we're looking forward to that difficult decision in the years ahead as we consider these nominations. The process going forward is that every member of the academy will have a vote. They'll have an online ballot, and that means every principal, every assistant principal, every academy coach, every teacher team leader, every business partner, every CEO champion, every school board member, every central office administrator will each have a vote and be able to go online and do that. It'll be a secret ballot managed by Deloitte, because awards programs actually hire Deloitte to do this so that no one knows the results, and no one will know the results except for our friends at Deloitte until May 12th, when an invitation-only ceremony we'll be announcing the award winners at a gala downtown, and so more words on that. So it's an exciting time to announce these nominees. Just being nominated is quite an accomplishment if you think about it. Over 1,000 high school teachers, nearly 100 principals and assistant principals across this system at the high school level, and to have just 3 or 4 or 5 nominations in each of these categories speaks volumes to the work that's happening every day. So at this time I'd like to turn over to Fran Bedard of Deloitte to announce our first half list of the nominees. Fran?
Thank you, Mark. It's very exciting to see what's going on in the Metro Nashville Public Schools. I'm so grateful to the administration of the school system, to the mayor's office, and to the CEO champions for driving this. Some of these young people appreciate it now, the power of these academies. Some may not appreciate it for 10 or 20 years, but they will appreciate it, so keep it up. So without further ado, it's my pleasure to announce some of the 2011 Academy of Nashville Awards nominees. For this year's Academy's Teacher of the Year in CTE Thematic Pathways, the nominees are Deborah Crosby, Business, from Glen Cliffs Academy of Business with Ford Pass; Jennifer Gatlin, Marketing, from Hunter's Lanes Academy of Business and Marketing; John Marshall, Engineering, from Overton's Academy of Engineering; Jana Myrick, Health Science, from Hillwood's Academy of Health; and Barclay Randall, Electronic Media, from McGavick's Academy of Digital Design and Communication. For the Academy Teacher of the Year in General Education, the nominees are Hank Cardwell, Science, from Glen Cliffs Academy of Medical Science and Research; Dr. Clifford Cockerham, Science, from Whites Creek's Academy of Public Service; Naomi Williams, Math, from Antioch's Freshman Academy; Kaylee Willingham, Science, Hillwood's Academy of Business, Entertainment, Hospitality, and Tourism; and Lana Wood, English, from Maplewood's Freshman Academy. Nominees for Academy Team Leader of the Year are Tara Baker, English, from Antioch's Freshman Academy; Martha Mitchell, Math, from McGavick's Academy of Digital Design and Communication; and Jay Salado, French, from Hillwood's Freshman Academy. The nominees for this year's Academy Partnership of the Year from the Arts, Media, and Communications Partnership Council are CMT and McGavick's Academy of Digital Design and Communication, Nashville Education, Community and Arts Television, and Hillwood's Academy of Art, Design, and Communication, and the SAE Institute and Pearl Cohn's Academy of Entertainment Communication. The nominees for this year's Academy Partnership of the Year from the Hospitality and Tourism Partnership Council are the Nashville Convention and Visitors Bureau and Hillwood's Academy of Business, Entertainment, Hospitality, and Tourism, Gaylord Entertainment and McGavick's Academy of Hospitality and Finance, and Holiday Inn Vanderbilt and Hillwood's Academy of Business, Entertainment, Hospitality, and Tourism. The nominees for this year's Academy Partnership of the Year from the Engineering, Manufacturing, and Industrial Technology Partnership Council are Earl Swenson Associates and Glencliffe's Academy of Environmental and Urban Planning, LP Corporation and Overton's Academy of Engineering, and the Vanderbilt University Center for Science Outreach and Stratford's Academy of Science and Engineering. And the nominees for this year's Academy Partnership of the Year from the Health Partnership Council are the Dialysis Clinic, Inc. and Glencliffe's Academy of Medical Science and Research, HCA and Hillwood's Academy of Health, and Healthways, Inc. and Cane Ridge's Academy of Wellness and Healthy Living. I'll turn it over to Paul for the rest of the nominees.
Good morning. My name is Paul Coakley, and I'm Associate Director of Human Resources for Altria. And Altria owns a family of companies, as you may well know, St. Michelle Wine Estates, Philip Morris, USA, and John Middleton. So I'm honored to be here again today to announce the nominees for 2011 Academy of Nashville Awards. For the Academy Partnership of the Year, from the Business, Marketing, and IT Council, Deloitte and Antioch, the Tennessee Credit Union Academy of Business and Finance, Permanent General Companies and McGavick's Academy of Hospitality and Finance, the Tennessee Credit Union and Antioch's, the Tennessee Credit Union Academy of Business and Finance. The nominees for the year's Academy Partnership of the Year, Human and Public Services Partnership Council are Nashville State Community College and Antioch's Academy of Health and Human Services, Tribeca Nazarene University and Antioch's Academy of Health and Human Services, and YMCA and Cane Ridge's Academy of Wellness and Healthy Living. For the Academy Coach of the Year, the nominees are Pam Appleton, Antioch, Paula Barkley, McGavick, Allison MacArthur, Glencliff. The 2011 nominees for Externship Project of the Year, CMT and McGavick's Academy of Digital Design and Communication, LP Corporation and Overton's Academy of Engineering, and the Tennessee Credit Union and Antioch's, the Tennessee Credit Union Academy of Business and Finance. The nominees for the Academy Assistant Principal of the Year, they're Dr. Adrian Battle-Koger, Glencliffe's Academy of Medical Science and Research, Jennifer Bell, McGavick's Academy of Aviation and Transportation, Debbie Booker, Antioch's Freshman Academy. For the Executive Principal of the Year, the nominees are Tony Majors, Executive Principal, Glencliff, Robin Wall, Executive Principal of McGavick, and Amy Wyatt, Executive Principal, Antioch. Nominees for the Council of the Year, they are Tiffany Littlejohn, McGavick's Freshman Academy, Jennifer Marciano, Glencliffe's Academy of Hospitality and Marketing, and Houston Reagan, Maplewood's Freshman Academy. The 2011 nominees of Freshman Academy of the Year, there are Antioch's Freshman Academy, Glencliffe's Freshman Academy, and McGavick's Freshman Academy. And finally, the nominees for the 2011 Academy of the Year, the Antioch, the Tennessee Credit Union Academy of Business and Finance, Cane Ridge's Academy of Architecture and Construction, Glencliffe's Academy of Business with Ford Pass, McGavick's Academy of Health Science and Law, and Stratford's Academy of Science and Engineering. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul, and thank you, Fran. Again, we're looking forward, the nominating committee, to hearing your work next year, and we invite you, we challenge you indeed, all of our 12 high schools to invite us to come see what you're doing and share those success stories and look forward to moving ahead toward together. We also are going to recognize 12 students, one student for each of the high schools, an Academy Student of the Year, and I'd like Jay Steele at this time to outline that process.
Thank you, Mark. As Mark said, we're recognizing business partners, teachers, principals, and assistant principals and counselors, but we're also recognizing students. The 12 comprehensive high schools with the Academies of Nashville will select one student that will be recognized as the Academy Student of the Year. The principals will be allowed to work with your faculty on outlining what that process will look like. That will be different in each school, and we will have that nomination by the end of spring break. If you could have that to me on Friday of the end of spring break, then we will begin that process. These students will be recognized on March 4th at the May 4th at Lipscomb University at the Pencil Bravo Award Luncheon. So principals, if you will work with your academy teams and nominate one student per school. Thank you.
I'd like to just briefly wrap by thanking, again, Deloitte and Altria, who are making this Academies of Nashville Awards possible by underwriting this event. We're looking forward to seeing each of you on May 12th. We hope everyone will exercise their right to vote, to go online and look at these nominees and make those important decisions. And at this time, I'd like to close the program. And principals, we do have an award for each of your nominees at your school, and Zach Blair will help make sure that you get those awards so that you can take them back to your school. Thank you all for being here this morning.
The reason that Nashville has been selected as a hub is because they have done incredible work on aligning the community, the major stakeholders in the community, the mayor, the chamber, Alignment Nashville, the district superintendent, and they have created a vision for what they want for the community. And they have very deliberately developed a plan and groups that can carry out this work in the course of the next 5 years.
This morning's announcement is Nashville being designated as a Forward Pass Learning Hub is a great accomplishment for Nashville, the greater Nashville community and Metro schools. Ford actually was in Nashville in November and came to Glen Cliff with over 90 visitors from around the country and really took the time to look at our schools and what's taking place between the government in Nashville and the community members, Chamber of Commerce, and our schools in general. So it's a great announcement for our school, and we do anticipate seeing great changes for the Nashville community as other communities come to Nashville to learn best practices surrounding education.
In 2006, I was named to spearhead the project to develop the small learning communities and the academies. So here, 4 years later, we've made a lot of progress, and one of the things we haven't been good at is celebrating our successes, because as the CEO champions heard this morning, there have been a lot of successes in the high school. Graduation rates have improved, discipline incidents are down, so we felt that it would be very important to recognize the people that have worked really hard for 4 years within these schools to develop the culture changes that have occurred.
So the Academies of Nashville Awards is really important to signify the accomplishments we've made. In any type of reform effort, it takes, a minimum of 3 to 5 years to see any kind of impact or change. So this is about the time now for us to recognize the hard work that the teachers and the students and the administrators have put forth all throughout Metro Nashville Public Schools to make sure that the community also sees the impact that we're making.